This week and last week I worked on redoing some of the models for my game so they matched a little bit more in line with the overall vision that I have, and I'm still working on getting some of the icons updated as well. The one up here for the pause menu we can see kind of has a shadowed effect to it just to kind of make it stand out a bit more. And if we hit play here, we can see my new assets. So one of the big things is the grass here I've changed. I'm still working on getting it into a better state than it is right now. It's made up of a couple different squares, so you can kind of see when I start some clipping, so I'm working on getting that smoothed out. I added a skybox to my game so we can see kind of a background sky, and it's a little bit more natural feeling. And then the beds themselves are a bit more natural as well. The dirt pattern on them is a bit better. And if we plant our seeds, we can see that each of the beds has been changed as well to kind of better reflect the overall idea. And then we can move our character up and down the rows. We can plant new seeds. And this all functions the same as it did before. And I've changed the scale on some of the items as well, most notably the apple tree, just so it kind of looks a bit more in line with what you'd expect and not so small. So if we plant that to grow all the way up, it's a bit taller. I still might make it a little bit more taller for the character, and then the rest of these will kind of collect as normally expected. Those add in, they go back into the backpack, and then I'm working on getting these guys kind of detailed as well, just so they feel a little bit more cohesive with the UI icons. The other thing that I am working on getting implemented is the shop menu. So that one, if we exit out of this, I have another scene set up for that over here. Right now I haven't done a lot on it. I'm still working on getting it to kind of react how I'd expect it to once I sell the items. And I've also been considering not doing 3 separate scenes, but just one big scene. So if we go back here and then open up our character, you can see here that it's just one kind of square. So I'm thinking about creating from the scene or the home screen, extending that grassy garden patch on the very end. So that way it's one smooth, continuous walking path, and I don't have to worry about loading new scenes in or anything like that. And then triggering the shop menu through just one of these stores where clicking on the door will just open and close that menu, so there's no loading in scenes as well. And that way it'd be a little bit more data, a little bit more less heavy on the data. And then if we go back to our garden scene, it would just, I think, help overall. The other things I'm working on doing is the buildings. My bad, I've opened up the wrong one. If we go back here, these are still kind of the generic buildings. So I'm working on getting the new ones added in, so it'll feel a little bit more fleshed out on that half as well. And then I'll just implement the UI buttons for the on and off for the various menus that I'll need, and then just removing this garden. So there's some work that still needs to go into it. I think one of the other changes that I made from last iteration is the camera movement as well, so it just follows the character around a bit better. The home screen has the old one where it doesn't quite react to the character, and she can kind of clip in and out, but now she is kind of stuck within the walls here, minus the edge here where I'll add in the town, and then I can walk around the garden beds, and it feels just a little bit more interactive for players. And then she can go down. So I'm still working on kind of adjusting the clipping range for the camera so it doesn't feel like you're missing out on too much information. The last fix I need is just the calendar. This still isn't tracking quite correctly yet, and once I do, I think that'll be a good final implementation. So those kind of the big goals I'd like to hit by end of next week, and that way I'll be ready for kind of a demo run of the game.